So I believe that we are ready for our discussion for today. But then I have some concern. Apple, can you able to see when I write here in front, I write it in the board?
Not totally, sir.
So can you, Miss Vilma, can you have this quick exchange of chairs, please?
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. How about Rhea, look? Can you able to see when I write the written or when I write on the board? Yes, sir. So that's all. And then for today, our topic is all about implicit bias. Before we're going to proceed with our topic, which is the implicit bias, I have first a question for you, for all of you. What is implicit bias and how does it impact our interaction with others? Can we have Miss Errha Homeres?
So, implicit bias refers to unconscious attitude or stereotypes that influence our perception, behavior, and decisions without our awareness. These biases can be based on race, gender, age, religion, or sexual orientation, among other things, and are often established through our experiences, cultural background, media, and other social factors. Our interactions with others can be impacted by implicit bias in numerous ways. Even when we are not unconsciously aware of it, it can influence how we perceive and react to other people's behavior or language. For instance, without us being aware of it, biases can also influence the decisions we make, such as who we choose to hire, promote, or accept to a school. Implicit bias can lead to prejudice, discrimination, and unfair treatment, which can be harmful to the people and groups that these biases are targeting. It can also hinder social justice, diversity, and inclusion by promoting systemic injustice and limiting opportunities for disadvantaged, marginalized groups. That would be all, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Errha. And now, I have a second question for all of you. Here it is. Have you ever witnessed or been a target of implicit bias? How did you feel about it? Can we have Miss Rhea?
So far, I never experienced being the target of implicit bias. However, when I was in high school, I witnessed that there was this teacher who gives more attention and praise to students who share their identities or exhibit similar behaviors, while overlooking the contributions of students from different backgrounds. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Miss Rielo. Do you have any some answer? Can we have Apple, please?
So, for the past years of my existence, I could barely say that I experienced this kind of matter. I cannot deny the fact that the part of my existence, I got the feelings that that emotion a bigger, but however, it was very big help for me because it gives me a lesson that it's surely my moral guidance. I did also to manage to accept others' opinion. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Miss Apple. Thank you for all your answers, ladies. So, I have here a next question. So, how can we recognize or address implicit bias in our own lives or in our interaction with others? Can we have Miss Janna Geraldo?
So, recognizing and addressing implicit bias is essential in creating a more equitable and inclusive society. To recognize and address implicit bias, it's important to educate ourselves about the history and experiences of marginalized groups and the impact of bias and discrimination on individuals and society. We can also reflect on our own biases by trying to identify any stereotypes, assumptions, or prejudices we may hold. Sorry, sir.
Thank you for that wonderful idea of you, Miss Geraldo. And can we have another answer from Miss Vilma, please?
Sir, by
practicing empathy, challenging stereotypes, and creating diverse environments are also essential in addressing implicit bias. We must hold ourselves accountable for our actions and words, apologize and learn from our mistakes, and commit to doing better in the future. If we witness bias or discrimination, we must speak up and address it in respectful manner. Recognizing and addressing implicit bias is an ongoing journey that requires ongoing self-reflection and action. However, taking steps to recognize and address our own biases can help create more equitable and inclusive environments for ourselves and others. That's all, sir.
Thank you for that wonderful answer, Miss Vilma. Thank you for all your answers. And now I have one last question for all of you. So, the question is, how can we incorporate our lesson about implicit bias into our future teaching practices to promote inclusive and equitable classrooms? So, can we have an answer from Miss Anino? Please.
As a future teacher, to promote a more inclusive and equitable classrooms, we must do or can start by reflecting on our own biases and working to identify and address them. As a future teacher, we can integrate diversity into the curriculum by incorporating diverse perspectives, authors, and content to expose students to a wide range of experiences and cultures. And also, encouraging critical thinking in students can help them question their own assumptions and stereotypes and analyze the media, literature, and history for implicit biases. Another is for promoting an inclusive or equitable classroom. We must create a safe and inclusive environment in the classroom involves establishing norms that promote inclusion, using inclusive language, and being open to learning from others. As a future teacher, we should be mindful of our language, avoiding the use of language that reinforces stereotypes or discriminates against marginalized groups. Engaging in dialogue and creating opportunities for students to discuss diversity and equity can promote empathy and understanding and help students recognize and address implicit biases. Lastly, by incorporating lessons about implicit bias into our teaching practice, we as a teacher or future teacher can create a more inclusive and equitable classroom environment that supports all students' learning and growth. That's all.
Thank you for all your answers, and based on your answers, I can conclude that you have some prior knowledge on what is implicit bias. So I admire all your answers. Thank you for your cooperation.